Hello, Neil.
Yep,
How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
So I'm gonna just ask a few questions and just about the whole process, and how you experienced it, how was it? Just even the story too. It was an incredible story, just getting the closing. Um,
Oh, God.
so
We're
uh,
not going to talk about that, are we?
you can go with some highlight points. I don't need to be every little detail.
That's good because that would take too long.
So we'll hit some key points. Just a quick question: would you be open to like I guess doing a video?
What do you mean a video?
Oh, just showing you I guess a video.
Oh, you wanting me? Okay, give me a minute. I've got to remember how to work Zoom. I haven't had to do Zoom in a while.
I think the bottom left. If you put your arrow at the bottom, that'll give you some options of audio, video, and you click on the
Yeah,
video icon.
that's nice to say. Oh, here we are. Okay, start the video. Allow. All right, there we are.
So.
Yeah, I've never liked the video call.
I'll try to make it brief. It's just it'll be a more realistic. People actually can see your face and
Yeah, yeah. If I'd have known I was going to do this, I'd have made sure I had my makeup on.
you look plenty of fine.
Well, thank you.
So so yeah, we're just doing this interview to talk about the closing 110 I got to work with Neil and his family on his closing. So I just want to just ask some questions or so for a few minutes to talk about the full experience
Okay.
and go from there, the good, the bad, and then the great.
Mhm.
uh, so so Neil, could you I guess for Neil or O'Neil? I see O'Neil in
Yeah, that I go by Neil. My dad's name was O'Neill. So
okay.
I'm a junior, so he was a senior, so he was always called O'Neill and I was always called Neil.
Neil. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I never really liked the William O'Neill. And until after he passed, that's only well, when he passed is when I actually changed my business name to Studio O'Neill.
okay, the business name studio. Okay. Because I was about to say I feel really bad. We've been communicating this whole time and I've been saying your name wrong.
It's all right. It's all right. No, much worse than that.
So my first question to you, Neil, how did we reach out to you?
Actually, that's really it was Jane that actually I think it was Jane that reached
Hmm.
out to me. And it just I mean, there for a moment I actually thought that it was not a real thing. I thought it was more of a scam, but at the same time, you guys reached out, so did another company, but Jane's, I mean, her doing her part and doing the information and staying in contact with me was really the reason why we chose to go with you guys.
Mm. I know she's gonna love to hear that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she constantly was like trying to answer every question. And just anytime that I had a question, she was always there.
Mm.
And even if I missed a text from her, she would call. Yeah, so that's the main reason why. And then, after I told her what we had to have, it was just so much easier. She just made the transition so easy, making sure that we understood everything that was going on.
Mm. So for everyone, Jane's on my team. She talks to a lot of
Mhm,
potential sellers or so. She's pretty
mhm.
great. I usually come in the back end or things get a little more complicated or so. But outside of that, she's a she's a pro. So we'll just highlight on kind of talk through a little bit some of the situation. We didn't get every detail or so. So when we first reached out, looked like there was three primary decision makers. Everyone in different spots in life or so which made coordination a little difficult, but not impossible. And
Right.
we talked to Neil, and And after doing some follow up or so, we all came to an agreement. They came and say, "Hey, we want this specific number, and you gotta pay everything else on top of that. We think this is the only thing that's owed, but anything else, closing fees, taxes, anything that pops up, you take care of it."
Right.
We talked. It was a deal worked out. It was a fair deal for both of us. We said sure. So we go in. We were getting all the signatures. And then, can you tell us what happened next? Or would you be willing to?
So yeah, I'll be willing to go there. So what Sai is actually talking about is I have two brothers. One is, I'm just going to say he's greedy, and he thinks that he's the one that can make all the decisions. And he's also a know-it-all. So he's that type of person that no matter what you say or what you do, he knows a better way. So it was a little bit difficult getting him on board, but once we got him on board, it was easy. The other brother was nothing but a teddy bear. He was ready to sign the minute that I told him that we were at the first number that we had,
Mhm.
and he was willing to sign at that.
Mhm.
So just not to go into a whole lot detail about how crazy my brother was, but he was really crazy. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
But
So,
at the end, it all worked out, and thanks to you stepping up to even making it happen even quicker and better.
mm,
I mean, it was less on my plate uh, to try to get it all together, and with you, and I'm not going to forget my niece, because without my niece, I wouldn't have been able to get half of this done.
Miranda, yeah,
Um,
she was incredible.
she was remarkable, and then of course that's another situation in itself, having to deal with which I didn't even know my sister was even married.
You didn't know she was married. Oh,
No,
wow.
I thought she was divorced from that POS.
Oh my goodness. Whew, I'm gonna say all that. As far as I see, all y'all were clients of mine, so I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Yeah, it was a little shocking to realize that they were still actually together.
Mm. So, so we get our documents together. We're looking at going to closing. Title companies to clean up title and saying, hey, we pretty much go and do the whole process of clearing up the title. I believe your sister was it Miss Kareem? Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, my sister was Cynthia.
Cynthia, excuse me.
Yeah,
Cynthia. She late Miss Cynthia. So come to find out, sometimes these titles can get very complicated. Since she passed away, unfortunately, her ownership stake didn't go to the three brothers. They actually went to her children. Um,
right.
so we had to bring them on board, talk to them, which I think was a relatively simple process. I think the last kind of hiccup a little bit was would you mention that she was married, but I guess separated for an extended period of time with her husband. They never formally filed for divorce. So
Right.
come to find out, he had a stake in her stake.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Right. Because like I said, he hadn't even been in the picture for over 15 years.
Mm,
But because they are legally still married, he still gets her stake.
mm,
And I mean, even when she passed away, he was nowhere around. He didn't even pay for the funeral. My niece paid for it.
oof.
Yeah, yeah. And then he comes in and's like, yeah, and signs only because legally he can, because he's still legally married to her.
Yeah, it's so her quarter got split into thirds, eight, a little bit
Yes. Yeah.
8% between her two biological children and her ex-husband.
Yeah.
Which we were trying to find how to get a hold of him. And I think you sent the Facebook link because the family had to talk to her and talk to him in
Yep.
a while.
Yep. And once he found out that there was a little bit of money involved, he was right there. He was like texting me like we were best buds. I'm like, okay, yeah,
Yeah, it was a little interesting because just so my first name is Jared, Cy Anthony is my middle name, Barnes is my last name. And when I reached out to him on Facebook, and it was more like, like, what do you want? Why are you reaching out to me? And then I explained him the situation, and it went from, "Well, who are you? What do you want?" to Mr. Barnes. Yes, I can. I can.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I can be
What do
there
you need?
tomorrow.
What do you need, Mr. Barnes?
Uh-huh. Yep. And it's, it's really funny, because you never would think that money would actually change people that way. And we're not talking about millions of dollars. We're not talking about thousands and thousands of dollars.
Mm,
But you would never think that money would change people like that. I saw a side of my family that I was not expecting to see
mm.
because of that little bit of money.
I remember there were I know at least one, maybe two. I heard initially, maybe three of the family members. They found out that he was getting any money,
Oh
basically,
yeah.
and said, "We not signing anything
Yep.
if he gets anything, we're
Yep.
out." So that was another 3 days week to figure out
Uh-huh.
that dynamic.
Yeah.
Um,
Ooh, it was hard. It was hard. But you guys did make it so much easier because y'all didn't just give up. Especially you. You didn't give up at all because when you stepped in and paid the taxes,
mm,
which I appreciate so much because that meant it didn't have to come out of my pocket. And if it would have come out of my pocket, I wouldn't have gotten it back.
mm. Well, deal is a deal. I mean, when we signed agreement, the agreement was, here's the price, and anything that comes back afterwards or so, I'm gonna cover. So as long as it wasn't some crazy 10, 15, $20,000 amount of money or so,
Mhm.
I was willing to pay it. And I was thinking like, hey, it's gonna be really hard to get the family to figure out, because I think it was six of you all who
Yeah.
take what part of the taxes, the amount, and the communication. So it just made sense to just to pay it all up front. Just
Oh, I wish you'd have taken it all from Anthony. I'd have been happy with that. I'm sorry, that part goes to the taxes.
Yeah,
But
that
because
so legally you couldn't do that. So
yeah,
yeah, but
no.
I would say they said I can't say too much about Anthony. He's also a client too. When it was time to sign, I would say he was ready to go, and he signed his paperwork with no
Oh,
problem.
he was the first to sign it. He drove down here to sign it.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's been
So
following
he
on
was he was
Facebook.
ready for his little check yesterday.
And and we talked to the family, and I talked to Miranda for a little bit,
Yeah.
and she aired her grievances out. But after in the conversation, she saw the bigger picture, and she was like, "Hey,
Mhm.
I get the bigger picture.
Mhm.
Talk to my brother. Let's move forward." Or so, like, no reason
Right.
to hold the whole family back. Which I've been in a lot of situations where, because one heir there's a dispute, or one person doesn't like the other person, like everything just kind of falls apart. So I mean, it talks to your family about the resiliency, because I've seen a lot of times this just kind of just unravel. Like, a group of people don't like this part of the family, infighting, no one's talking, and everything just collapsed. And I know there was a few days, kind of everyone can kind of catch their breath or so, especially because of the relationship dynamics with Anthony. But like, commit your family, because yeah, this could have went right,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
fast. And I know you talking about me following up and working hard. You and Miranda, yeah, y'all did a number to push this forward.
Well, actually, last Friday I thought that it was over.
Mm.
I honestly thought last Friday was done, because after speaking to my other brother, I honestly thought that he wasn't going to sign. And because he kept going, I can live in that house and I can do this and I can do
I
that.
didn't know this. Wow.
And that's the one that was giving me such a hard issue,
Mm.
and the one that was in jail. And I'm like, yeah, you think you can. Here's the thing about living in the house. It's condemned. It will be condemned if you do it. And I will make doggone sure of it.
Mm.
because I know way too many people in Marshall County, and all I have to do is pick up the phone and call. And
Mm.
then the next morning, I get a text from him saying, "Okay, I'll sign."
Oh wow, yeah, I didn't know that kind. I knew there was
No,
some.
you didn't, because it was 3.5 books later.
I read the telecom call and said, yeah, we just talked to him. He said he's not signing. He
Uh-huh.
actually wants some more money. I was like, oh
Uh-huh.
goodness, we're at the finish line. This
Uh-huh.
we got to regroup.
Yep.
We didn't did all this and did all that, and I'm glad. I was telling some of my friends, I was telling my wife. I said, yeah, Big Brother stepped up. Big Brother put his foot down.
Because
Yeah, yeah.
I was done with it. Because, when mom and dad passed away, I told all the family, I mean, my sister and my two brothers, y'all are more than welcome to live in the house. The only thing that you have to do is
Mm.
pay the land taxes. That's it. And you paid it till 2018. After that, I've been paying it out of my pocket, and none of y'all stepped up. And I would have had to pay this if you wouldn't have stepped up, because they don't have it. And I'm done. I'm tired of paying. Y'all are grown people. It's time to move on.
This happens a lot too. I've noticed, like, especially in inheritance situation, there's usually one family member, usually the elder, the eldest child sibling. They end up paying the taxes, the loan maintenance, or so the insurance on the house, and sometimes even going to close it is not always fair because legally that's a certain way percentage how things are supposed to be divided, but it
Right.
doesn't always factor in how that one person put so much money into the house before we got to the point of selling.
Right.
And if it's hard to get them reimbursed if the other family members aren't like
Uh-huh.
whatever. So that's another category in
And
itself.
yep. You can see, and that's the thing, because before all of this started to happen, anytime that I put money into the house or I did anything, all three of my siblings, when they were alive, or one when she was alive, would say, "Will you always take your money out first?"
Hmm.
They didn't say that today or yesterday when we all got our checks. They didn't send me no check saying, "Here's your part."
Wow.
Yeah.
Even the other brother, the one that was they gave you a
Yep.
hard time.
He's the one that always said it,
Wow.
but he forgot that part.
Sorry to hear.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm I'm happy. I'm sad. I'm happy.
Hmm.
there's there's actually a lot of emotions, uh, because it was mom's and dad's house,
Hmm.
and to see it actually go. But I have to look at the bright side of it. Somebody else will be able to enjoy it, because what you guys are going to do to that house is
Hmm.
is
Yeah.
probably what my mom would have wanted to do.
Hmm.
And because I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to be looking.
You're gonna drive
I'm
by.
going to be looking just to see what you guys do, because I can't wait to see what it looks like, because the house has so much potential.
You did. Yeah, it does.
Like when mom and dad bought the house back in 1970 something, I can't remember exactly when. Um, it just it there was so many things that she wanted to do to the house, and when you have six family members, it's a little hard. And she never really was able to do what she wanted to do. And when she passed, I wanted to take the house over, but I
Hmm.
wasn't going to take it over and have three of their siblings telling me what and how and when and what and how much.
Hmm.
So I just let it be.
Hmm.
And like I said, to be able to see what you guys turn it into, because once it goes up for sale, it will be on Zillow, so I'll be able to see it.
You better reach out. Yeah.
And
Um,
I'll be able to see pictures of it. So I can't wait to see what you guys actually do.
hmm. I will. I guess. I guess my question is about the family dynamics. I know that you mentioned about hey, you moved on from the house or so. Uh, now the sell is done. Like, what's the family dynamics now with your brothers or so that you moved on and your niece and your nephew? Like, I mean, is everyone coming over for Christmas? You less arguing, more, more tension.
That's wishful thinking. So with my niece and my nephews, or my niece and my nephew, we will keep in contact. With my I'd say my younger brother. With my younger brother, I'll try to keep in contact with him.
Mm,
Right now, he's still going through his detoxing and trying to get up on his feet. And once he gets up on his feet, I will hopefully be able to keep in contact with him. The other one, we've always had this really hard relationship.
mm,
He feels like I think that I'm better than he is, and he he resents me, I guess, working and having a life and things to that nature. Um, so we won't have a strong relationship. Um, so the family will kind of dwindle away, um, because we have nothing connecting us now other than blood. And knowing knowing my family, knowing my brothers, the only time that they do reach out is when they need something, and that's often.
mm, mm,
and and I'm not like my dad. I won't give you the shirt off my back. I will help you, but I won't give you the shirt off my back. So my brothers know that. And that makes me sound like a horrible person.
No, it makes you sound like a real human being. Uh, I get it. It's a tough situation. Like, trust me, you're not the first person in boat where you have different complexities with your own siblings. Even in my personal life, I'm working with this property buying, and then even we have a family property when my grandma passed away, and it caused some tension in the family and stuff like that. So, what you're going through is yeah, it's not super radical. Like it's understandable. You do want to help the people you love, but you gotta make sure you don't destroy your own self in the process.
Right, right. Well, and I'm not going to enable anybody.
Mm,
My mom and my dad did that all their lives that they were alive. They always enabled my two brothers and my sister. That's the reason why they're the way that they were. Um, and I'm not going to do that. I always wanted better. I always wanted more. I always wanted to accomplish something. And they have always waited on someone to hand it to them. And I'm not going to do that.
mm,
I will help them, but I'm not going to help them in the sense of giving them money.
mm.
Yeah. So that's
Oh.
that's the family dynamics in
Well,
the short
perfectly,
version.
perfectly with the money they got, they do help them, at least get someone on a right path where things could change or so. Who knows? Y'all might just meet one day and just relax and just kind of, family reunion. I mean, maybe not happen 6 months a year, but who knows? 5, 10 years, things happen. So somebody might get married. Who's getting married in the family? Who's up next? Any nieces, nephews?
Uh, no, my niece is already married. My nephew is, I don't know what he's really doing. Um, and with my brother, my my middle brother claimed that he was going to be getting married and some this and some that. I don't even know what was true and what wasn't. Donnie Donnie just hasn't Donnie just hasn't found the right person yet. And first Donnie needs to fix Donnie. When Donnie fixes Donnie, the right person will come along for Donnie. I firmly believe that because he is nothing but a teddy bear. And he is one that will give you the shirt off if he's back.
Hmm.
And I hope the money that he got the other day he uses it wisely. I hope
Yeah.
he doesn't revert back to his old ways. I kind of was, well, when I was speaking with Miranda, Miranda said that it was being sent to her house. And I was ecstatic about that because I know that he's not going to blow it. But I can't worry about that. I can't worry about what they're going to do. So, yeah, I don't know if anybody's up to be married anytime soon. If they do, I probably won't be invited, but that's okay.
Who knows? Probably. You never know. Your family.
Yeah, yeah. Families, when mom and dad were alive, family meant something. Uh, but now that they're passed and my aunts and uncles have passed, I don't know if it means the same thing as it did when they were alive.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, because they're the glue that held it all together. They're the ones that would always, hey, we're going to have this. I need you to come by. Or, hey, we're doing dinner. I need you to come by. You know, things to that nature. Now it's not that way. And it's not just with my immediate family, it's with my extended family.
I'll just say this. Who knows? Maybe you might end up being that person. You never know.
Yeah,
Hey, come on
yeah,
by.
I do too. That ain't happening. Uh-uh. That's that's an invitation for trouble.
I can put a little bug in your ear. That's all. I'm just
Okay, that
put
bug,
it in
I'm pulling it out. Thank you.
there. Well,
No, 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 no.
so my apologies. As I told Neil, it was 15 minutes, but the story is so great. I had to listen then. Just one last question.
All right.
If someone comes up to you and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about selling my house to side by houses, and I've been talking to Jane for a while," what would you say to them if they're undecided, they're on the fence?
Oh, I wouldn't have to say much. I would say call this person Cy and call this person Jane. That's
Hmm.
exactly who I would call. And I would also make sure that they knew that they are going to make it the easiest transition possible for you.
Thank
These are
you.
the people that you need to talk to. And it's not just that. You guys never once tried to swindle me or bullshit me. And excuse my language, but
Okay.
y'all never did that to me. Y'all were there to help guide us through it and to make it the easiest transition possible. That's what y'all did.
That's a one worse. We're definitely gonna be using that. Sometimes the real reaction, the real feedback that you can't script that.
Okay, but that's
Uh,
perfectly fine. But I expect my cut. No, I'm just kidding. I don't get on camera for nothing.
yeah, no. Hey, look, I will say you want to cut. You refer any business to us, we'll give you 2 grand
Okay,
for a house we close.
you don't have a problem with that. If I know anybody, I mean anybody that ever is wanting to sell, y'all would definitely be the first two that I would tell them to contact. Well, actually, I'll probably tell them to contact Jane first.
I'm gonna let her know. I'm like, hey, Jane, Neil like you better than me. She's gonna get a kick out of that one.
Well, she was my middle man. She was the one that I knew that I could get in touch with at
Mm,
any time. And when it came to getting in touch with you, I felt like there was more of an issue that we were having to deal with.
mm,
And like when we first started it off, Jane was the one that was the easiest one to contact. Everything was running this way, this way, this way. And then when we started running into the brick wall is when I felt, not feel, but when I felt that I had to call in the big guns.
mm,
And that's what I considered you more of was the big guns.
mm. Yeah, Jane, she's definitely more personable than me. I mean,
Oh, I'm not going to say that because you're very personable. You've been anytime that I've ever called you or anytime that I text you, you always made sure to get back to me. Anything that I needed, you sent over to me. So I'm not going to say that she's more personable. She was just the first one that I reached out to, or reached out to me.
I would say that's fine because that's her strength. Like she's very nice. She's very sweet. So she'll talk to you. Like the only reason why I came in more and we started interacting a lot more, like you mentioned, we started running into a little bit harder issues. So Jane, I am personable, but I'm also too like a high kind of go personality. So when a brick wall comes through and things get complicated, I'm the one that comes in and say, hey, this is how we can execute it. Let's move forward. I'm the kind of the pusher where Jane is kind of like the smooth, flowy part of our team. So just our two dynamics together. Like
Y'all make a really, really good team.
most of the time you would just need Jane to handle most of all everything. I'll come in when everything's getting a little too complicated. That's when I'll step in to help remove obstacles or so. That's my role pretty much to make things easier for everyone else.
Good, because I was tired of lifting them. I needed somebody else doing it because I was done.
So I would tell everybody, yeah, if you need Jane, you probably have a number.
Yep.
You're talking to her already, but you want to talk to me directly. My number is 804-476-4055. 804-476-4055. We buy based out of primary Richmond, Virginia, but we buy pretty much in the southeast in the south. So yeah, we work with local partners to make sure everything's smooth, easy, and help you move on from life. So thank you for this interview. Thank you for your time. I know we went a little bit extra, but I mean you gave some golden nuggets or so. So it's
All right.
I'm gonna save this. I'm probably gonna send this to my wife and a few friends. Like, hey, y'all gotta watch this. This story is better than TV. Any reality TV y'all watching, housewives show or something like that, or whatever them dating shows are. Y'all gotta watch this one. Pop the
Oh,
balloon. This
goodness.
is the show. This is golden. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Y'all be good.